So my roommate Dave has always been the frugal type, the kind of guy who turns off the fridge at night to save electricity and reuses tea bags until they start dissolving. One day, after a particularly dramatic monologue about the rising cost of fresh basil, he announced he was taking matters into his own hands and growing an indoor windowsill herb garden. He went all out, tiny pots, little garden markers, even a spreadsheet to track leaf yield. The plan was to have fresh basil, thyme, rosemary, and mint. Dave was already calculating return on investment and planning to sell leftovers to the neighbors, which was ambitious for someone whose last plant died from overwatering in under a week. For the first couple of weeks, Dave was the picture of dedication. He serenaded the basil with Spotify playlists, read bedtime stories to the thyme, and even went so far as to Google how to say encouraging words to plants in Latin. But soon enough, tragedy struck. The basil shriveled up after a cold draft, the thyme got moldy, and the rosemary, well, I think it just gave up out of sheer disappointment. The only survivor was the mint, which didn't just survive, it thrived. It multiplied like some sort of botanical hydra, creeping its way into neighboring pots, then into coffee mugs, then, mysteriously, into my sneakers. By month's end, our apartment had become less herb garden and more mint invasion. Dave started sneaking mint into everything: mint tea, mint salad, mint pasta, don't ask, and even mint-infused scrambled eggs. The local pizza place wouldn't take his calls anymore after he suggested replacing oregano with something more refreshing. I tried to stage an intervention, but my speech was interrupted by the sudden realization that there was a sprig of mint poking out of my toothbrush. Last night, I asked Dave if he thought the whole experiment had actually saved us any money. He grinned, surveyed the sea of mint taking over our windowsill, and said, "I guess you could say we're rich in sense."